Hi, I am Anna and I am going to talk about Independence Day in USA. Independence Day is a national holiday of the United States of America, commemorating the signing of the Declaration of Independence by the Continental Congress on July 4, 1776, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At the time of the signing, the U.S. consisted of 13 colonies under the rule of England's King George III. There was growing unrest in the colonies concerning the taxes that had to be paid to England. This was commonly referred to as taxation without representation, as the colonies did not have any representation in the English Parliament and had no say in what went on. As the unrest grew in the colonies, King George sent extra troops to help control any rebellion. In 1774, the 13 colonies sent delegates to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to form the First Continental Congress. The delegates were unhappy with England, but were not yet ready to declare war. In April 1775, as the King's troops advanced on Concord, Massachusetts, Paul Revere would sound the alarm that the British are coming, as he rode his horse through the late night streets. The Battle of Concord and its shout heard round the world would mark the unofficial beginning of the colonies' war for independence. The following May, the colonies again sent delegates to the Second Continental Congress. For almost a year, the Congress tried to work out its differences with England, again without formally declaring war. By June 1776, their efforts had become hopeless, and a committee was formed to compose a formal Declaration of Independence. Headed by Thomas Jefferson, the committee included John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Robert R. Livingston, and Roger Sherman. Thomas Jefferson was chosen to write the first draft, which was presented to the Congress on June 28. After various changes, a vote was taken late in the afternoon on July 4th. Of the 13 colonies, 9 voted in favor of the declaration, 2, Pennsylvania and South California, voted no. Delaware undecided and New York abstained. To make it official, John Hancock, president of the Continental Congress, signed the Declaration of Independence. It is said that John Hancock signed his name with a great flourish, so King George can read that without spectacles. The following day, copies of the Declaration were distributed. The first newspaper to print the Declaration was the Pennsylvania Evening Post on July 6, 1776. On July 8, the Declaration had its first public reading in Philadelphia's Independence Square. Twice that day, the Declaration was read to cheering crowds and pealing church bells. Even the bell in the Independence Hall was rung. The province bell would later be renamed Liberty Bell after its inscription, proclaiming liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. And although the signing of the Declaration was not completed until August, the 4th of July has been accepted as the official anniversary of the United States' independence. The first Independence Day celebration took place the following year, July 4th, 1777. By the early 80s, the traditions of parades, picnics, and fireworks were established as the way to celebrate America's birthday. In 1778, General George Washington marked July 4th with a double ration of rum for his soldiers and an artillery salute. Across the Atlantic Ocean, ambassadors John Adams and Benjamin Franklin held a dinner for their fellow Americans in Paris, France. Independence Day is commonly associated with fireworks, parades, barbecues, carnivals, picnics, concerts, baseball games, political speeches and ceremonies, and various other public and private events celebrating the history, government, and traditions of the United States. Independence Day is a national holiday marked by patriotic displays. Similar to other summer-themed events, Independence Day celebrations often take place outdoors. Independence Day is a federal holiday, so all non-essential federal institutions like the Postal Service and federal courts are closed on that day. Many politicians make it a point on this day to appear at a public event to appraise the nation's heritage, laws, history, and society. Decorations, streamers, balloons, and clothing are generally colored red, white, and blue, the colors of the American flag. Parades often are in the morning, while fireworks displays occur in the evening at such places as parks, fairgrounds, or town squares. That's all. Thank you.